Emergency situations can be very scary. That is why it is so important to prepare ahead of time. You must think about what you will need to have and what you will need to do in an emergency. Each of you has different needs. For example, one of you may need to wear eyeglasses, and another of you may need to use a walker. Some of you may have a cell phone and some may not. My personal needs is a form to help you understand your needs. You can then use the information to make an emergency plan and to decide what supplies you need. My personal needs is divided into the following sections: medical information, immunizations, medications, daily living and mobility needs, communication and emotional needs. The information from each section will go in your personal emergency plan. You may not need to use all of the sections. Remember, your personal emergency plan is about your needs. Any person who looks at your plan should know how to help you in an emergency. The first section is medical information. It is a good idea to have your medical records in front of you before you begin. It is important to have up-to-date medical information. Complete as much as you can. You may have to check your records or ask your support person to help you get any other information you need. Now think about any medical conditions you may have. These might include things like diabetes, asthma, high or low blood pressure, or heart problems. If you have regular medical treatments or routines, write them down. If you go to a special place for medical treatments, include the name of the place. Check if you are afraid of needles. Look at this example. Now fill in your information on Form A. Do you have any allergies or sensitivities? If so, name the type of allergy and what happens to you if you have an allergic reaction. Include any special diet you may need. Look at this example. Now fill in your information. Now fill in your information on Form A. Some of you may use medical devices. Here are some examples: respirator, nebulizer, catheter, tubing, feeding tube, oxygen, suction unit, glucometer, insulin device, needle and syringe, home dialysis, inhalator, other medical supplies. If you use any of these devices, find out the name of the place where you get it, the vendor's phone number, and whether or not it needs batteries or uses electricity. Write down this information along with the name of someone who knows how to work the device. Look at the following example. Now fill in your information on Form A. If you need to get more information, you can always write it in after you print it out. Make sure to include your name on Form A, save it, and print it out to include in your personal emergency plan. The next section is called Immunizations and Medications. It is a good idea to have your medications and medical record in front of you before you begin. You need to write down all of your most recent shots, for example, a flu shot or PPD. Then you need to include important shots you have had in the past, like a tetanus or hepatitis shot. Look at the following example. Now fill in your information on Form B. Do you take medications on your own, or must someone give them to you? Check off the correct answer on Form B. It is important to list all of the medications you take. Look at the label and write down the name of the medication, how much, how often you take it, when and how you take it. Check if it needs to be refrigerated. Include the doctor's name and the pharmacy name and phone number. Look at the following example. Fill in one box for each medicine you take on Form B. If there is any information that you don't have now, you can write it in later after you print out the form. The next section is about your daily living and mobility needs. Some of you may use equipment. Here are some examples: wheelchair, walker, cane, lift, shower chair or tub transfer bench, specially equipped vehicle. Find out the place or vendor where you bought any equipment and the vendor's phone number. Write down if it needs batteries or electricity. Write down the name of someone who knows how to work the equipment. If you use a special van, write down its model and license number. If there is any information that you do not know now, you can write it in after when you print out Form C. Let's add that to your to-do list. Now fill in the boxes with your information. A service animal must stay with you if you need to evacuate. It must be allowed to be with you even if you go to a shelter that does not allow other animals. Make sure it has an ID tag. Find out its license number and record of vaccinations. Write in the information on Form C. If you have a pet, you must plan on where it will go in an emergency. Pets may not be allowed in a shelter. If you cannot bring them with you, make arrangements with friends, relatives, or a kennel ahead of time. Now think about any special help you might need in an emergency. Do you need help with any of the following activities? Bathing, going to the toilet, brushing your teeth, dressing, getting in and out of bed, eating, drinking? Do you use any special utensils to help you eat independently? Do you need help with walking quickly in an emergency? Include this information and anything else you may need help with in the help or safety boxes. Look at the following examples and then fill in your own special needs in the boxes on Form C. The next section is communication and emotional needs. It is important for you to understand people who are trying to help you. It is important for them to understand you. Answer the following questions and include the information in the box on Form D. It is necessary to have an identification with you if you need to leave your home. Do you have a photo ID? Yes or no? If not, talk to your support person about getting one. Let's add that to your to-do list. What language do you understand? What is the best way for you to communicate? Speaking, Braille, written words, pictures and symbols, sign language, hand or head movements, communication device. If you use a communication device, find out the type, the place where you got it, and its phone number, and if it needs batteries. Sometimes it helps to bring something special with you if you must leave your home. For example, you may want to bring your special book or photo. Write down your special item in the box on Form D. Now think about how you may feel or act during an emergency. Emergencies can be very scary. You may feel upset, nervous, confused, or even sick to your stomach. Maybe noise or flashing lights bother you. You might want to run away or hide. Sometimes you may act in a way that another person does not understand. It is important to let others know these things. Think carefully about this and write down what is important to know about you. Look at the example, then fill in your own box on Form D. Sometimes there are things others can do to help you feel calm in an emergency. Write down what would help you feel better. It is a good idea to talk to a family member or friend about how you might feel or act during an emergency and what would calm you down. Look at the example. Now fill in your box. All of this information is very important to have in your personal emergency plan. It is also a good idea to have a one-page summary of your health needs that you can show to someone right away. You should keep it with you at all times in case you have an emergency when you are away from home. Look at the example of my health summary to see how you can complete your own information. Remember to always keep it up to date.